And welcome to part 3 of our TuffShed to gym conversion. At the beginning of this video, we're going to test all the wiring that we did in the previous 2 videos. So we just have a cable running from inside the house at the breaker there, running all the way out here to our junction box here. Now I stress this is only temporary. Obviously, it's not going to be set up like this in the real world. We're going to install another circuit breaker box here so we can shut off the power here at the gym because it is an outbuilding and we want to have that flexibility. So this is just a test to deliver power everywhere so we can make sure the outlets are wired correctly and we're getting power to all the things that we expect to have power. So let's test and hope we did things right. First thing I have to do is wire this guy up to our internal wires here, which run to this outlet and some other outlets down there. So if you don't know what this looks like or how we ran it, check out the previous 2, part 1 and part 2 of our conversion videos. I'll link those below. And this gray wire is outdoor wire that we're going to use to make the run from the house here to the gym. But for testing purposes, I'm just going to use this wire because it's easy and it's available. And all we have to do is connect them up and we should be good to go. So all I did here is I connected both blacks together, both whites together, and also both grounds together with these little screw caps here from the gray wire and also the yellow wire. So when we turn the power on, the power is going to come through the gray wire into our junction box here, and then hopefully out our yellow wire and into all of our outlets. So now we'll just go connect the other end in the house and we can test. All right, we have connected everything inside. So Courtney is going to stay inside right by the circuit breaker. So if something happens, she can turn off the circuit immediately. And I'm going to call her so we can obviously communicate between the house and the gym.
Okay, you ready?
All right, let's do this. I am good to go. Go ahead and turn her on.
Turning on now. It's on.
Okay, so no sparks, so that's a good sign. Let me start going around and testing some outlets then. I will keep you on speaker the whole time. So this outlet has a protection where you can't just put in a multimeter on both sides. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use my DeWalt hammer drill, plug it in, and see if we have power. All right, so the hammer drill's plugged in. Let's see what we got. All right, we have power at this outlet. I also tested these switches. So the fan switch delivered power to that wire, and the light switch delivered power to that wire. So that means all the other outlets around this place are wired properly. Now, we have live wires with the power running right now. So I'm gonna go in, turn that circuit breaker off to make sure nothing bad happens. But this was a good test. We have power in here, so that's a good first step. All right, it's a little cool today, so I have my beanie on. But now that we have the electrical run and we've tested it that it's working, so there's no major electrical problems out here, we can start to insulate some of our sidewalls here. And as you can see over the transom windows, I cut a couple of 2x4 blocks to go above the window and also underneath the window. And the reason for that is the insulation is going to come up to the window, but obviously we don't want to insulate over the window, so we're going to keep that open. And we don't want insulation to just be open to the air. We want it to butt up against that piece of wood so all this is contained. And we're also going to stick a little bit of insulation up there as well. I have already made those cuts and put in those boards above and below the window. So now we could just start insulating. And we have fiberglass insulation, and you're not really supposed to breathe that in. So I have a mask that I'm going to use while I'm doing the insulation, just to be safe. So we bought the 2x4 insulation, which is R13 40 square feet each. So we have 5 of them, which should be enough. And they should just fit really nicely between each one of these studs. And I probably won't insulate this yet because we want to make sure that this is open in case we have to do something with it. And we probably won't insulate down here because we're not really sure what exactly we're going to do with the vent yet with bringing the wires through and all that. But everything else is fair game. One done, lots more to go. And there we go. Got one complete wall completely done. I mean, this stuff really is easy. There's nothing overly complicated about it. Sometimes it could be a little tricky when you have to cut it out, cut the insulation to fit around smaller areas, like we will have to do above the door. But other than that, I mean, the studs are spaced perfectly for this type of insulation. So it just fits right in there. You don't really have to secure it. You just kind of stuff it in between the studs and it just stays in place. So it's really, really simple. But we're gonna do this for the entire place, of course, all around the sidewalls. And then it should have pretty decent R13 insulation. All right, and there we go. We have a complete wall on this side. Even up there, all insulated. It was pretty easy. There are some areas here where obviously that's not as wide as it was, so I had to cut a lot of it. There's little pockets like that I had to put some filler in. These spaces here with the filler. But all in all, it went in pretty easy. We only have that much left for here, here, and here. So obviously we're gonna have to go get more. We thought we had enough, but projects like this, you always seem to have to go back to the hardware store to get more stuff, like 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 times. So we're gonna go back on Monday, I think. This is Saturday. Get some more insulation, but I feel pretty good about the insulation progress thus far. And now I'm gonna be doing a little bit of outdoor work. Something that needs to be done really at any time. There's no sequence to it. This is graceful. So what needs to happen is I need to dig a trench from where this electrical wire here is coming out, that conduit. That's going over to our well on that side. But it's going to come down the same conduit and then it's going to break off this way and shoot right over there behind the gym, and then it's gonna come in on the back side of the gym. And by it, I'm talking about the electrical wire. So as you know, we've already done the inside. So I just need to trench a pathway for the outdoor electrical wire to come behind the gym, and it's gonna go right in this vent area. So the trench is gonna come up like this, and then the wire is gonna come up and in here somewhere. We probably won't keep this here. Again, we just put this in so we wouldn't void the warranty of the TuffShed by like drilling a hole into it. The hole's already here. We're just gonna reuse this somehow. But for now, we gotta get that trench dug so we have room for the electrical cable to make its way from the house to the gym. We have access to a tractor, a friend's tractor that we might be able to use to dig the trench, but I kind of like outdoor exercise, so I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see how motivated I am. I'm definitely gonna dig the trench by the house and by the gym because we wouldn't be able to fit the tractor there anyway. But I might even do the space between the two buildings. Maybe. But for now, I'm just gonna clear rocks and just see how far I get. Wow, that is way more difficult than I had anticipated it being. I dug a trench by hand back in monsoon season last year, but that was when the ground was a little bit more moist. It was more wet, so it was a little bit easier to dig. And right now, everything is just rock hard. Yep, it's rock hard. So I think I'm gonna have to just wet down the areas that I plan to dig, give it some time, a couple hours for the moisture to soak in, and try again, because at this rate, I'm literally gonna kill myself doing this by hand. So I'm gonna try that, see how that works, and then I'll go from there. But for now, this is the end of this video. This is part 3. Thank you for watching. I will get back with you in part 4 about how this trench work worked after wetting things down. I mean, there's not much to show, it's just a bunch of digging, but I'm gonna show you the wire and how we run everything and how we connect. So I will be sure to show you all that, but all this manual labor, it's labor. You get the idea. Thanks for watching.